Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to Notations of a Nappy Girl, episode 25. Today I'm going to talk about a number of things, so I'm not even going to list them because I'm probably going to jump from piece to piece to piece. But everything I am going to talk about has something to do with, as usual, relationships, effective relationships, whether they're friendly or social, so to speak, whether they're familial or social, I should say. Okay, a lot went on this weekend. A lot of issues, a lot of stuff. I only got one video done last week, and that was due to my own personal issues. So I do apologize for those who hit me up and inquired about where the video was and stuff like that. Didn't mean to leave anybody hanging. All right, here's my thing. Well, see, I don't even know where to start because there's so much up here I want to say. I was talking to someone who I used to date and am considering dating again for whatever reasons. And no, I'm not going to go into detail, so don't be asking. It is what it is. But here's the thing, what they said to me was really interesting. Um, they told me that the fact that I'm able to stay faithful and communicate, even when a relationship is being difficult, that that makes them feel inadequate. That makes them feel like they're not as equally invested. And it kind of hit me as strange, like, who wouldn't jump for joy to have a woman that was loyal, that was faithful, that was honest, and that was willing to articulate what they're thinking and feeling so that no problems really come up in the relationship within that realm that aren't being addressed. And then I thought about it. Not everybody maintains themselves in a relationship like the person they're with. So I understand that. Now, should I stifle myself from talking and being open or what have you simply because it makes that person feel inadequate? Because they have their own personal insecurities about how they maintain a relationship. No, I will not stifle myself. I will not back down, and I will not stop being diligent and bulldogish when it comes to certain facets of a relationship that are important to me. It was funny because the way they worded it is like, well, because you've been faithful and you haven't slept with anybody and you haven't done this and you haven't done that. Um, that yes, that shows me your investment, but that makes me feel like I'm not that invested. And I'm like, well, if you're supposed to be with me and you're doing all that extra stuff, then you're not as invested. So you should feel bad. And I'm not saying that as a put down to that person. That's just how some people maintain. I have what I call an open book policy. If somebody sends me a Facebook message, like I get inboxes, oh, you're so cute. I like your lips. I like your eyes, blah, blah, blah. If I'm dating somebody at that time, I'll tell them about that unsolicited message. Not to make them feel bad, not to pump their head up like their girlfriend is the best in the world, but just so that nobody can surprise them with anything later. Like, hey, I was talking to your girl. And they can be, well, I already knew that. No problem. It kind of rolls like that. Rolling on to my next thing, because I'm not going to stay on that forever, is the thing about insecurity, which kind of ties to that first thing, I guess. Um, when you go into a relationship, if you've been dogged out, lied to, cheated on, beat up mentally, physically, emotionally, metaphysically, however deep it got, you cannot allow yourself to be restricted by that same thought process that you had when you were being dogged with the next person, because the next person is probably not doing that to you. So they're living down the ghosts of relationships past. That's not fair. Learn how to pick your battles, people. Um, I started not to do a video today because I was upset. And I know that when the people who I'm about to speak on watch the video, they're going to feel some sort of, I'm not going to mention any names. It wasn't even really a negative experience. But what happened is I sent a friend some inboxed information. I don't have an email address for this friend. So I inboxed them some information about a cruise that they wanted to surprise their mate with next year. And it was 4 a.m. I was up, had a migraine, Vicodin wasn't working. So I was researching. So I sent the information not knowing that it'll pop up on this person's phone as a notification. Well, this is a good friend of mine. This is not somebody I just met like 2 weeks ago. This is not somebody I've ever slept with, somebody I'm trying to screw, whatever. It's not. This is a really dear friend. And I sent the information to their inbox, and 2 minutes later they call me. And the first thing I say is, what the hell are you doing woke? I thought I was the only night owl. And they proceeded to have me on speakerphone to prove to their better half that it was only me and the message was totally innocent, because I guess they have the notifications that come directly to their phone for Facebook. And the mate got upset. Like who's sending you a message at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning? I can understand that. But at the same time, if your mate is trying to explain something to you, at least open your mind enough to hear them. Because see, this is what's going to happen. And now I'm coming off of that particular couple and that situation. That situation hurt my feelings because I felt like I was put into the middle of it. And it was like, damn, I didn't do anything. I felt like I was causing a problem in their relationship and I didn't even do anything. So coming off of that, people, I told that story for a reason. It's about insecurity and fear. Okay. We don't like to be vulnerable. We see that as a bad thing. We don't like to be open. We don't like to express ourselves effectively, and we don't like to let anybody in. We like to keep all these walls up and all these defense mechanisms because we've been hurt. We've all been hurt. I know I have. Lord have mercy. But you got to pick your battles, people, because see, here's the thing. When you have a partner, if they're invested in you, you can only shoot them down so many times. You can only break up with them so many times. You can only threaten breakup so many times. You can only yell at them and curse at them and whatever goes on negative. You can only do it so many times before that person gets tired. It's like opposites attract. They do. Introverts typically date extroverts. Heavy typically date skinny. Dark typically date light. We've seen it. It happens. But at the end of the day, your basic fundamentals that are needed to make a relationship healthy in your eyes should pretty much be in sync with your partners. And if you're constantly, because I've run into this in my relationships before, where I communicate, as you can see, and I've had partners who don't communicate. If talking to you is like pulling teeth, I may eventually stop talking. If every time I give you some information, you rebuke it by saying it makes you feel bad or makes you feel some sort of way, I'm going to eventually stop talking. It comes down like that. And I'm not even talking about me personally. I'm just talking about people in general. These are the things that I hear from my friends on the daily when they call or we texting or we chit-chatting and we're talking about relationships and things that are going wrong in them. And it's like the biggest thing comes down to knowing your role, playing your position, and keeping insecurity out of your relationship. Insecurity and pride are two things that will kill a relationship dead. No, when I date somebody, I don't have to check their phone. I don't need to check their bill. I don't need to check their Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, downlink, whatever. I don't need to do all that because all I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to walk up to you and say, hey, I got this gut feeling something ain't right. Something you want to tell me? Anybody who knows me know if I'm asking you, chances are I either already know or I have a strong inkling that there is something going on I need to know about. That's all I need to do. I don't like people to lie to me. Don't BS me. Don't candy coat nothing. Don't sell me shit and tell me it's Shinola. Lack of a better. I don't even know what Shinola is. But good saying. That's the thing. Pick your battles, people. Because if somebody loves you, they will always love you. But if you are unbearable to deal with, they will eventually love you from a distance. And I had to tell someone that because everything that they said, anytime they would relate something about me, it was negative. Yeah, you like to talk, but, you harp on stuff. Or if we're talking, it's instantly perceived as an argument if there's a difference of opinion. Why we can't agree to disagree. I'm perfect. I have never said I was perfect. I am perfectly imperfect. That's pretty much about how perfect I am. But everything they said, it was a negative. You harp on stuff. You feel too much. You think too much. You're over analyzing. You're perfect. I'm not like you. I don't talk like you. I don't think like you. Hey, I am who I am. And it's like if you're slapping a negative connotation on everything that relates to me, eventually you'll begin to look at me in a negative light. And then you'll treat me negatively. Then you won't want to be with me. And that's what I didn't understand with the thought process with some people. On one hand, you act like your mate makes you miserable. They're not honest enough. They just everything they do is something wrong. They go to the bathroom, they did it wrong. They cook something, they did it wrong. They say something, they said it wrong. They post something on Facebook, that's wrong. Their phone go off at the wrong time. It's people tend to over emphasize those red flags or mines in the field or what have you, and they don't pick their battles. And yeah, you may win a battle, you may curse somebody out, or you may make somebody feel small, or you may garner an apology from your loved one even though they haven't done anything wrong. But eventually that person will leave. And when they do, what do you do then? Because you won the battle, you lost the damn war. Figure out where you want to be and what you want to do and what's important to you. I'm a bulldog, but even I know when to back down. That's my message today, people. Nothing personal. Nothing personal to nobody, please. I don't want no inboxes, no phone calls, no attitudes. I speak on what's in my head. So, peace and blessings. Be good, people.